Chosen one, an invisible turning point has already taken place, and your life is being drawn into perfect harmony with what heaven has ordained. Your presence here is not the result of chance. This moment has been carefully arranged by divine timing, as though God has intentionally brought you here to hear what your spirit has been waiting to receive. The quiet weight you've been carrying lately, the gentle pull deep within your heart, is not uncertainty. It is the awakening of recognition. Heaven has witnessed every act of perseverance, every quiet sacrifice, and every moment you remained faithful when no one acknowledged your obedience. Now, a new season is beginning to unfold in response. This is not merely about financial increase or temporary success. It is about a holy transition, where provision, influence, and meaningful opportunities are being entrusted to those who were shaped and refined in hidden places. Scripture reminds us in Ecclesiastes 3:1 that there is a season for everything and a time for every purpose under heaven. Your appointed season is no longer somewhere in the future. It has already begun to unfold before you. Anointed one, what lies ahead will demand wisdom just as much as faith, because every opportunity is not equal, and every blessing must be received with spiritual discernment. Remain attentive if your heart recognizes what is happening, because this is not the time to become distracted. There are signs already appearing that reveal this divine transition has begun. As you continue listening, you will begin to recognize the ways heaven has already started arranging circumstances on your behalf. Chosen one, there were many seasons when it seemed as though you remained in the same place, while everyone else continued moving ahead. If you are honest with yourself, there were quiet moments when you wondered if God had somehow forgotten your name. You never spoke those thoughts aloud, but they lingered silently within you. You watched others receive promotions, open doors, recognition, and unexpected blessings, while your own journey seemed hidden from view. Yet despite the silence, you refused to abandon integrity. You continued doing what was right, even when it required personal sacrifice. You remained faithful to God during seasons when there was no visible proof that anything was changing, trusting that His promises were still working beyond what your eyes could see. That quiet consistency was not wasted. It was being recorded in a place deeper than what your natural eyes could see. And the Father has not missed a single detail of your obedience. Anointed one, there is a reason you felt that subtle stretching within your spirit, that feeling that something inside you was being expanded, even though your circumstances had not yet caught up. It felt uncomfortable at times, almost confusing, like you were being prepared for something you could not yet name. But that stretching was not a sign of delay or denial. It was preparation. Heaven does not release increase into a life that has not been strengthened to carry it. And what you've been experiencing is the quiet work of God enlarging your capacity so that when the shift becomes visible, it does not overwhelm you or pull you away from Him. There were nights when you sat alone thinking about your future, wondering if things would ever truly change, questioning if your prayers were reaching anywhere beyond the ceiling, and yet you kept praying anyway. That matters more than you realize, because in those moments, something was being stored, something was being built, something was being aligned in the unseen. And now what was once hidden is beginning to move toward manifestation, not in a chaotic or overwhelming way, but in a steady, intentional unfolding that carries peace with it. Chosen one, the wealth transfer that heaven is announcing over your life is not built on noise or urgency. It is built on alignment. It is not about chasing opportunities, It is about recognizing the ones that have been divinely prepared for you. You will begin to notice subtle shifts. First, doors that once felt locked will start to open without struggle. Ideas that once seemed distant will begin to feel clear and actionable. And connections that did not make sense before will suddenly align with purpose. This is how heaven moves. Not always with dramatic display, but with precise timing that cannot be denied. And you must understand this clearly. Not every increase is the same. There is a difference between what comes quickly and fades just as fast, and what is established by God and carries stability, peace, and purpose. What is coming toward you is not meant to confuse you or pull you into comparison. It is meant to anchor you deeper. The Father is not calling you into a life of pressure. He is calling you into stewardship, where what you receive becomes a reflection of His heart through you. You may even notice that your desires are changing. Things that once mattered deeply to you may begin to lose their hold. And things you once overlooked may now feel significant. This is not random. This is the alignment of your heart with heaven's intention, because when God entrusts someone with increase, He first aligns their inner world so that what they receive does not replace who they are becoming. There will be moments when the opportunities feel larger than what you expected. Moments when you sense responsibility rising alongside provision. And in those moments, you might feel a quiet hesitation, wondering if you are truly ready. But hear this clearly. Chosen one. The same God who prepared the path has also prepared you. You are not stepping into something unfamiliar to heaven. You are stepping into something that has already been measured, already been considered, already been aligned with your growth. And as this unfolds, there will be people who do not fully understand what is happening in your life. Some may question it. Others may misinterpret it. And a few may even doubt it. But you are not called to explain what God is doing. The Father, who sees in secret, will reveal in His own way, in His own time, and with a clarity that does not require your defense. Your role is not to prove. Your role is to remain aligned. What is coming will not only affect your resources, it will affect your perspective. You will begin to see that what once felt like delay was actually positioning, that what felt like loss was actually protection, and that what seemed like silence was actually preparation. There is a bigger picture being revealed, one that connects every season you have walked through into something meaningful and intentional. Chosen one. This is where your awareness must increase, because the shift is not only external, it is internal. As provision begins to move, your discernment must deepen. Not every opportunity will carry the same assignment, and not every open door will lead where you are meant to go. This is why your relationship with God becomes even more important in this season, because it is not just about receiving, it is about recognizing. There is a quiet wisdom that will begin to guide you, a sense of knowing when to move and when to wait, when to say yes and when to step back. It will not always be loud or obvious, but it will be steady and clear when you are attentive. And this is where many miss what is meant for them, not because it was not available, but because they move too quickly or without alignment. You're being led differently now, not by pressure, not by comparison, but by purpose. And that purpose carries a weight that is both sacred and intentional, because what is being entrusted to you is not only for you, it is meant to flow through you, to impact, to restore, to build, and to reflect something greater than personal gain. As it is written in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, The vision is for an appointed time. It speaks of the end, and it will not lie. Though it may seem slow, wait for it, because it will surely come, and it will not delay. What you're stepping into now is that appointed time beginning to unfold. Not in theory, but in reality, so remain steady. Chosen one, remain grounded in what brought you here, because the same faith that sustained you in the hidden seasons will guide you in the visible ones. And what is about to unfold next will begin to show you just how intentional every step of your journey has truly been. Chosen one, as this shift continues to unfold, you will begin to recognize that what is happening around you is not random movement, but divine orchestration working with precision beyond what you could have arranged on your own. There will be moments when doors open in ways that feel almost effortless, and you may find yourself pausing, wondering, why now? Why this? Why in this way? But this is what happens when heaven releases what has been held in preparation. It does not arrive in confusion. It arrives with a quiet authority that settles into your life and begins to take shape without force. Anointed one, some of these changes will come through opportunities that once felt out of reach, positions that you may have thought were reserved for someone else, or ideas that seemed too distant to become real. Others will come through connections that return with new clarity. Relationships that are restored, not by coincidence, but by purpose aligning with where you are now, rather than where you used to be. And there will also be moments when provision appears in unexpected ways, not because you chased it, but because you were aligned with the timing of God. You may look back at certain seasons of your life and remember how heavy they felt, how draining it was to keep going without visible progress, how unfair it seemed when effort did not immediately produce results. But those seasons were not empty. They were training your heart in ways that could not have been achieved any other way. You were learning to value presence over possession, faith over fear, and obedience over recognition. And now that foundation is becoming the very thing that will sustain you as increase begins to take form around you. There is something important you must understand in this moment. Chosen one, what is being released into your life is not meant to pull you away from God. It is meant to draw you closer, because as increase begins to manifest, you will become more aware of the source behind it. You will recognize that every opportunity, every open door, every provision carries the fingerprint of God's hand. And that awareness will keep your heart anchored even as your circumstances expand. In the quiet moments, you will feel it. That gentle reminder within your spirit that the true treasure is not the resource itself, but the relationship that sustains it. This is what keeps you steady when things begin to move quickly. This is what keeps you grounded when visibility increases. And this is what protects your peace when expectations begin to rise around you. Because without that connection, increase can become distraction, but with it, increase becomes purpose. There will also be people who do not fully understand what is happening in your life. Some may question your growth. Others may misinterpret the favor that is resting upon you. And a few may distance themselves because they cannot relate to the direction you are moving in. But you are not called to explain what God is doing through you. You are called to remain aligned with Him. The same God who saw you in the hidden seasons is the one who is now revealing what was cultivated in secret. And He does not require your defense to confirm His work. Anointed one, this shift is not only about what you are receiving, it is about what you are becoming. Because as influence begins to increase, so will responsibility. People will begin to look to you differently. not because you have changed your identity, but because what has been placed within you is now becoming visible. You will carry a weight that is not heavy with pressure, but significant with purpose. And in those moments when you feel the weight of expectation, grace will meet you there, strengthening you in ways that remind you that you are not walking this path alone. You will begin to notice a new kind of guidance emerging within you, a clarity that was not always there before. You will sense when to move and when to wait, when to speak and when to remain still. And this discernment will become one of the greatest gifts in this season, because not everything that appears beneficial will align with your assignment, and not every opportunity will carry the same purpose. The wisdom of God will act as a safeguard, gently directing your steps, so that what you build is not only successful, but sustainable. There will be confirmations along the way, subtle but undeniable moments when things align in such a precise way that you cannot ignore the hand of God behind them. The opportunities that once seemed closed will reopen with clarity. Connections that felt distant will return with renewed strength. And ideas that once felt uncertain will begin to take shape with confidence. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that you're moving within divine timing rather than human expectation. Chosen one. You will also begin to sense a shift within your inner world. Where there was once anxiety, there will be peace. Where there was once uncertainty, there will be stability. And where there was once hesitation, there will be a quiet confidence that does not need to prove itself to anyone. This peace is not dependent on circumstances. It is anchored in the presence of God, and it will remain steady even when external conditions fluctuate. This is one of the clearest signs that the transfer is genuine, because what comes from God carries peace with it. Not temporary excitement, not unstable momentum, but a steady assurance that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And this peace will guard your mind as responsibilities increase, ensuring that you do not become overwhelmed. As this continues to unfold, you will notice changes not only within yourself, but also within your relationships. Conversations that once revolved around survival will begin to shift toward purpose, vision, and long-term impact. There will be healing where there was tension, understanding where there was confusion, and unity where there was distance. Because this season is not meant to isolate you. It is meant to strengthen the environment around you. Chosen one. What is happening is larger than a single moment of gain. It is the beginning of something that will extend beyond you, touching the lives of those connected to you in ways you may not fully see right now. And as you continue to walk through this season with humility, awareness, and faith, you will begin to understand that this transfer is not just about provision. It is about purpose being established in a way that will endure, and what begins to unfold next will reveal even deeper layers of how this purpose is meant to shape not only your future, but the legacy that follows after you. Chosen one. As this season deepens, you will begin to see that what is being established in your life is not temporary momentum, but a foundation that is meant to endure beyond what you can currently measure. This is not a single moment of breakthrough that fades with time. It is the beginning of something that will continue to unfold layer by layer, shaping your future with intention. And when you look back, you will begin to recognize how every season you once questioned was actually connected. How the struggles, the waiting, the setbacks, and the quiet victories were all part of a design that was leading you to this exact point. There were moments when you doubted your worth, because things did not move the way you expected. Times when you questioned whether you were truly seen, whether your efforts mattered, whether your faith was making a difference. But heaven never measured your value by what was visible. And while you were waiting for external confirmation, God was building something internal, something that could not be rushed or imitated. He was shaping your character, refining your discernment, and strengthening your ability to carry what was coming without losing yourself in the process. Anointed one. This is why this season is different. Because now, as resources begin to align with your calling, you are not the same person you were before. You are not driven by comparison. You are not pressured by competition, and you are not easily shaken by what others are doing around you. There is a calm assurance within you, a quiet confidence that does not need validation, because you understand that what is meant for you cannot be taken by another. And what is meant for another does not diminish your portion. This understanding will guard your heart in ways you may not even fully realize. It will protect you from envy, from fear, and from the temptation to measure your progress against someone else's path. You will find yourself able to celebrate others genuinely while remaining grounded in your own journey. And this is what allows you to move forward with peace instead of pressure, with clarity instead of confusion. Chosen one. Alongside the increase you are experiencing, there will also be a transfer of wisdom that becomes evident in how you think, how you decide, and how you respond. Because wealth without understanding can create instability, but when wisdom accompanies increase, it creates sustainability. You will begin to notice that insight comes to you at the right time, often in quiet moments through reflection, prayer, or even simple conversations that carry unexpected depth. And in those moments, you will sense that you are being guided, not forced. This wisdom will shape how you build. You will not feel the need to rush or to prove anything quickly. Instead, you will feel a steady inclination to build with intention, to invest not only in what grows externally, but in what strengthens internally. You will understand that lasting impact is not created through impulsive decisions, but through consistent alignment with purpose. And because of this, what you establish during this season will not be easily shaken by changing conditions or temporary trends. There is also a creative awakening that will begin to rise within you, a clarity of vision that was once hidden or uncertain. Ideas that you may have dismissed before will begin to return with new perspective, and you will start to see how they can be developed in practical ways. Talents that were once overlooked or underused will begin to surface, and you will recognize that they were never insignificant. They were simply waiting for the right time to be activated. Anointed one. This is not reckless boldness. This is confident trust. It is the kind of courage that comes from knowing that God is breathing life into what He has placed within you. Even when challenges arise, you will not interpret them as signs to stop, but as moments to refine your approach. You will understand that setbacks are not the end of the path, but adjustments that keep you aligned with the greater purpose unfolding ahead. There will also be a shift in how you relate to resources. Where there was once a tendency to hold tightly out of fear, there will now be a willingness to hold with open hands, not carelessly, but with trust. Because you will begin to realize that your security is not found in numbers, but in the consistency of God's provision. This shift will free you from patterns that were shaped by past scarcity, allowing you to operate from a place of wisdom instead of survival. Chosen one. As this transformation continues, you will find yourself becoming a bridge for others, not in a way that drains you, but in a way that reflects the overflow in your life. People who are still navigating difficult seasons will look to you, not because you are perfect, but because your journey carries authenticity. They will see the faithfulness of God through your story, and it will encourage them to keep going in their own. You will feel compassion rise within you, a desire to support, to guide, and to uplift those who are still in places you have walked through before. And this generosity will not diminish what you have. It will multiply its impact. Because when what you receive flows through you with wisdom and intention, it creates a cycle of blessing that extends far beyond what you can immediately see. Anointed one. This is the nature of this transfer. It is not designed to separate you from others. It is designed to position you so that you can lift others as you continue to move forward. It is an elevation that carries responsibility, but also grace, ensuring that you are equipped for every step. As this continues, your connection with God will deepen in a way that feels both natural and necessary. Prayer will no longer feel like a routine, but like a conversation that sustains you. Reflection will become a place of clarity, and quiet moments will carry more significance than ever before. Because you will begin to understand that success without spiritual grounding creates pressure, but success with alignment creates peace. You will also notice changes in the people around you. Some relationships will strengthen, becoming sources of support, wisdom, and shared vision. Others may begin to fade, not because of conflict, but because they no longer align with the direction you are moving in, and in those moments, God will give you the grace to navigate these shifts with kindness without compromising who you are becoming. Chosen one. What is being formed in your life is not just individual progress, it is a network of purpose, a community that reflects shared values, mutual encouragement, and collective growth. Because sustained blessing does not thrive in isolation, it thrives in environments of trust and alignment. And as you continue forward, you will begin to see the long-term impact of the choices you are making now. Projects that are built with patience will mature into something lasting. Investments that are guided by wisdom will produce results that extend beyond immediate gain, and the seeds you are planting in faith will grow into something that provides for more than just you. This is where the vision expands. Chosen one. Beyond the present moment, beyond the immediate increase into something that carries legacy. And what begins to unfold next will show you how this legacy is meant to take shape in ways that reach further than you ever expected. Chosen one. As this journey continues to unfold, you will begin to understand that the weight you feel is not pressure meant to break you, but purpose being entrusted to you in a new dimension. There will be moments when you sense that what you are carrying now is greater than before, not just in responsibility, but in influence, in visibility, and in impact. And in those moments, you may feel a quiet awareness rise within you, reminding you that this is not about personal elevation, but about alignment with something larger than yourself. Because what is being placed in your hands is not random. It is intentional. Every resource, every opportunity, every connection carries a purpose that extends beyond your immediate understanding. And as this awareness grows, you will begin to think differently. You will no longer measure decisions based only on short-term gain, but on long-term impact. You will consider how your choices affect not only your life, but the lives of those connected to you, even those you may never meet. Anointed one. This is where your vision expands, not in a way that overwhelms you, but in a way that matures you. You will find yourself thinking ahead, building structures that are stable, ethical, and grounded in integrity. You will recognize that quick success without foundation can collapse under its own weight. But what is built with patience and purpose will endure. And because of this, you will begin to value consistency over speed, depth over appearance, and truth over temporary approval. There will be seasons when fresh opportunities invite you beyond what feels comfortable, asking more of you than ever before. Yet this time, the stretching will not be accompanied by the fear that once held you back. Instead, it will feel like a gentle invitation to move forward, strengthened by the quiet certainty that you are not walking this path by yourself. The God who opened the door is also faithfully leading you through it. You will begin to recognize a remarkable change within yourself. Decisions that once left you uncertain will now be met with calm confidence, not because every answer has suddenly become clear, but because your spiritual wisdom has grown. You have learned the value of waiting, listening, and seeking God's direction before taking action. That discipline has become the foundation of your confidence, even when a choice involves risk. It will be guided by wisdom rather than emotion, shaped by purpose instead of pressure. Chosen one. This season is also bringing restoration to places within your heart that have been quiet for far too long. Aspirations you once released, ideas you believed had faded away, and visions that seemed forever out of reach will begin to awaken once again. You may find yourself returning to possibilities you thought belonged only to the past. Only now they seem attainable in ways you never expected. The change is not simply around you. The greater transformation has happened within you. What once appeared impossible now begins to feel entirely within reach. Not because you forced the outcome, but because your life has come into alignment with God's timing. You will discover that those dreams never truly disappeared. They were simply waiting for the season when your character, understanding, and preparation matched the purpose they were created for. Now that those pieces have come together, what God planted deep within your spirit is beginning to rise with renewed strength. Anointed one, even your perspective on generosity will begin to change. What once required careful calculation will become an expression of genuine joy. You will no longer give because you feel obligated or afraid of lacking. Instead, you will give from a heart filled with gratitude, knowing that God's provision is not diminished when it flows through you. You will come to understand that every blessing shared carries the power to produce an even greater harvest, extending its influence far beyond what you can see. This is where you begin to see the true nature of this transfer. It is not about accumulation. It is about circulation. It is about allowing what you receive to move with purpose, touching lives, supporting growth, and creating change that extends beyond your immediate awareness. And as you begin to operate in this way, you will notice that provision continues to flow, not because you are holding on to it, but because you are stewarding it wisely. There will also be moments of challenge, times when growth invites resistance and new levels bring unfamiliar obstacles. But these challenges will not define your season. You will face them differently now. Instead of seeing difficulty as failure, you will recognize it as refinement, a process that sharpens your strategy, strengthens your focus, and keeps you aligned with what truly matters. The presence of God will remain your anchor through all of it, not as a distant idea, but as a constant reality that studies you when things shift. You will come to understand that no opposition can cancel what God has established, and that confidence will protect your peace, even when circumstances attempt to test it. Chosen one, within your home and your close relationships, there will be a noticeable change. Where there was once tension caused by uncertainty, there will now be space for connection, for conversation, for shared vision. You will begin to see a shift in atmosphere where worry is replaced with stability, and where survival is replaced with purpose. Family members will feel the impact of what is unfolding in your life, not just through what you say, but through what they observe. They will see the evidence of God's faithfulness, and it will inspire something within them. It will create an environment where faith is not just spoken, but lived, where integrity is not just taught, but demonstrated. This is how the transfer extends beyond you. It becomes part of a larger story, one that influences those around you in ways that go deeper than material change. It shapes mindsets, restores hope, and builds a foundation that future generations will stand on. Anointed one. As you continue forward, you will also begin to understand the value of time in a new way. You will recognize that not every opportunity deserves your attention, and that protecting your focus is part of wise stewardship. You will learn to create space for rest, for reflection, and for intentional moments with God, understanding that without these, even the greatest opportunities can lose their meaning. This balance will sustain you. It will ensure that success does not come at the cost of your peace, and that growth does not lead to exhaustion, because true prosperity is not only measured by what you achieve, but by how you sustain it without losing alignment. Chosen one. This is where your awareness deepens. This is where you begin to see that what is unfolding is not just about increase, but about transformation at every level of your life. And what is about to unfold next will reveal how this transformation strengthens you from within, preparing you to carry everything that is still on its way. Chosen one. As this sacred process continues, you will begin to realize that the most powerful transformation is not what is happening around you, but what is being formed within you. There is a stability taking root in your spirit that cannot be shaken by temporary changes, and this stability is what will allow you to carry the increase without losing your peace, because what heaven is building in you is not dependent on circumstances. It is anchored in something deeper, something that remains steady even when everything else shifts. There were seasons when even small disruptions could affect your rest, when uncertainty had a way of entering your thoughts and shaping your outlook. But now you will notice a difference. Your responses are calmer, your perspective is wider, and your reactions are no longer driven by fear. This is not because life has become perfect, but because your understanding has matured. You have learned that your source has never been a single opportunity, a single income, or a single connection. Your source has always been God, and that realization changes everything. Anointed one. This is part of the transfer that many do not recognize. It is not only about resources increasing, it is about your capacity to steward them growing alongside it. As more is entrusted to you, you will feel a deeper sense of responsibility, not in a way that burdens you, but in a way that clarifies your purpose. You will begin to see how your decisions carry weight, how your actions influence others, and how your life is connected to something larger than personal success. This awareness will guide you to think beyond comfort and convenience. You will begin to consider how your choices affect your family, your environment, and even people you may never meet. And this is where true prosperity reveals itself, not just in what you have, but in how what you have is used to create impact, because blessings are not given without purpose. They are entrusted with intention. Chosen one, you will find yourself building differently now, not for quick results, but for lasting impact. You will be drawn toward creating structures that are stable, environments that are healthy, and systems that reflect integrity rather than shortcuts. You will understand that what is built on truth will endure, and what is built on impulse will eventually fade. This clarity will shape your decisions, ensuring that what you establish during this season continues to stand in the years ahead. There will still be moments that require courage, moments that invite you to step into something unfamiliar. But these moments will no longer carry the same fear they once did. Instead, they will feel like a natural progression, a continuation of the path you have already been walking. You will sense a quiet confidence guiding you, reminding you that you are not stepping into the unknown. You are stepping into what has already been prepared. Anointed one, generosity will continue to grow within you, but it will not feel like sacrifice. It will feel like alignment. You will begin to experience a kind of joy in giving that is different from before. A joy that comes from understanding that what flows through you is part of a greater design. You will see how your actions create ripple effects, how a single decision can impact lives in ways you may never fully witness. And this awareness will deepen your gratitude. There will be moments of testing, times when growth brings pressure, and when responsibilities stretch you in new ways. But you will face these moments with a steadiness that was formed through everything you have already endured. You will not interpret challenges as signs of failure, but as opportunities to refine your approach, to strengthen your focus, and to remain aligned with what truly matters. The presence of God will continue to be your foundation through it all, not as something distant, but as something constant, something that guides, strengthens, and sustains you. You will come to understand that success is not something you carry alone. It is something you walk through in partnership with Him, and because of that, it will feel lighter, more balanced, more aligned with who you are becoming. Chosen one, within your home, you will see a continuation of the shift that has already begun. Stability will create space for deeper connection, for shared vision, and for conversations that carry meaning. What once revolved around survival will now revolve around purpose, growth, and legacy. And this environment will influence not only your present, but the future of those connected to you. You will begin to see that your journey is not isolated. It is woven into something larger. The faith you have carried, the decisions you have made, and the path you have walked are shaping more than your own life. They are creating a foundation for others to build upon, a testimony that will continue to speak even beyond your immediate awareness. Anointed one, you will also come to value your time differently. You will recognize that protecting your energy is part of your stewardship, and that not every opportunity deserves your attention. You will learn to prioritize what aligns with your purpose, to create space for rest, and to remain connected to God in a way that sustains your growth rather than exhausts it. This balance will allow you to move forward without losing yourself. It will ensure that what you build does not come at the cost of your peace, and that what you achieve does not distract you from what truly matters. Because true prosperity is not only about increase, it is about alignment, about living in a way that reflects both purpose and peace. Chosen one, As this season continues to unfold, you will begin to see the full picture more clearly. You will recognize how every part of your journey has contributed to where you are now, how nothing was wasted, and how everything has been working together with intention. Every season you have walked through has been connected by a greater purpose. The waiting was not wasted. The stretching strengthened you. The refining shaped your character. And now the release is arriving at its appointed time. As you begin to see how every chapter fits together, a deep sense of gratitude will quietly fill your heart. Not because the road was without difficulty, but because every step carried eternal purpose. You will recognize that nothing in your journey has been left to chance. God has been directing each moment, unfolding His plan in ways that will lead you farther than you ever believed possible. So remain unwavering. Chosen one, keep your foundation firmly rooted in the one who has guided you this far. This shift is not a single event that quickly passes. It is the beginning of an ongoing work that will continue revealing itself as each new season arrives. Everything ahead will become another reminder that heaven never lost sight of you. Long before you recognize this moment, God was already preparing it with perfect care. You are not walking into an uncertain future. You are stepping into a season that has already been established according to God's perfect timing. What is taking shape in your life has not happened by coincidence. It is the result of divine intention, marked by the faithful hand of God, directing every step you take. Anointed one, hold tightly to this truth, for it will keep your heart steady no matter what unfolds around you. Do not let increase become more important than the presence that carried you through every hidden season. Do not allow fresh opportunities to silence the voice that has faithfully led you until now. Continue walking with a thankful heart. Let wisdom guide every decision. Stay fully aligned with the calling God has placed upon your life, remembering that every blessing carries the responsibility of faithful stewardship. May your heart remain secure as new doors continue to open before you. May your thoughts be filled with wisdom and confidence whenever important choices arise. And may your spirit remain anchored in God's peace, regardless of how circumstances change around you. This is your season of divine alignment. This is your season of confirmation. This is your season of becoming everything God has been preparing you to be. If these words have spoken directly to your spirit, leave the number 77 inches, the comments as a declaration that you receive what God is unfolding in your life. Stay connected, chosen one, and continue walking with expectation, because heaven is not finished, revealing what has already been prepared for your journey.